must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends.
Very much viewers, good afternoon, viewers Africa, wherever you are in Tripoli, Cape Town, Dar es Salaam, Kigali, Kinshasa, Harare, Accra, Yaoundé, Ambazonia, Bua, Biafra. Good afternoon. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya, in the political command center from miles away from Nairobi. We have Miriam Ogutu standing by in the general headquarters of Punchline Africa Television. I am myself, Dr. David Matanga, from the political command center, miles and miles away from Nairobi, from Kenya. I want to hand it over to Miriam today, but before I do that, I want to introduce Professor Gerard Onyari. Our topics and the show is Africa Showdown. I want to make a comment of 2 minutes. For the last 1 week, the Kenyan people have been treated to a bonanza, an extra curriculum bonanza of blame games, mafiadom, double tongue, side shows on a number of things. Our role as journalists is to highlight these issues that affect the people of Kenya, to bring these issues to the surface. In May 2020, I warned the people of Kenya of the way the COVID was being handled. Today, I am vindicated when you see the story headlines that are backed with very dangerous headlines. One would wish they had listened to what I was saying. Earlier on, I had told people that this is going to be a big story. A big story indeed. That COVID was a new thing to Africa. Some countries don't have hospitals. Some countries don't have beds. Some countries lack infrastructure to conduct, to preserve the integrity of health matters. I was telling Africans that this is going to affect you. Way back in February. In May, I warned on the Kenyan handling of finances because the minister said, cried out and said, there is a mafia that wants to finish him. There is a mafia that creates emails. They can create your email and they say you applied for the money. And yet you did not apply for any money. Yet you authorized. Why is Kenya not rooting out this hacker? There is a hacker in this country. One hacker, since the days of ICC, this hacker has been disturbing this country. First we got the NIS, NYS, PIN number, passwords stolen. We lost money. You remember the man in charge of NYS money said the passwords were stolen prior to the money being wired. We've been having this hacker. We know him. Do we know him or we don't know him? There's somebody hacking people's emails, putting Mutahe Kagwe as a man who supplied things when he did not supply. There is this question of telephone triangulation, which is going to cause a lot of problems. Because Matanga speaks to Miriam, therefore we translated that and said there was a deal. Are we fighting corruption properly, or we are just victimizing people? This game of corruption, in and out, in and out. Why Kenya? Why COVID situation era? We are breathing, the air of space is coming. We are beginning to see the figures come down. The Kenya strategy has worked. We are approaching, at least by the time we reach 1 million people, we would know that that was how much we captured the disease. It could go down to become endemic. But let's not accuse each other, Miriam. I want to take this opportunity to say, for me, my role has been as a journalist to say what I see and to say what I think. On the question of redemption strategy, I have no regrets. It is anybody who stands against Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Kenyatta's unity of purpose, has no room for me in my heart. I'd rather go home and look after my grandchildren. I'm not bothered. When the corona is over, I can go home. Yes, I don't care. But one day you will see the voice. You will need me. We are approaching a very dangerous trend. You cannot hold an election in Kenya until you have done one good thing: overhaul the electoral system of the Republic of Kenya. Anybody talking of elections without removing the trigger mechanism that creates you chaos every day, I will walk home, and actually I would prefer to walk naked and walk home. That's what an African man would do. The pastor will tell you that I will take off my clothes as a punishment, first to myself, and two, to those who will see me. I might not be a madman in the towns and the streets. I might appear to be a madman in the towns and the streets of Nairobi. But I would have made my point that I told you. Don't hold any elections in this country without reforms. They triggered the bloodshed we have had. They have triggered the bloodshed since 1992. Change the mechanism, change the system, the way you elect your leaders. Today I'm going to be accommodative, but I will not stop being brutal. I will hit where possible. Thank you very much, Miriam. Introduce us to the topics. Just we rush through, we bring back things the center cannot hold. You can go to Jerusalem and tell people that you are Pharisees, but we are doing very well with Jesus. It's impossible. Ha! Champlain. My brother, I don't think there was a time when the Pharisees and the Jesus were working together. The only common factor was that both of them were Jews. Thank you very much, Miriam. Over to you. COVID and Africa.
All right.
What is happening in Africa about the COVID? Then we come to things fall apart. By Chinawa Chebe in Omofia clan, the center cannot hold. The DP has become very brutal and frontal. Frontal. Is frontal. Is hitting hard, direct. I think I will come in to do peace talks. I'm an expert of peace talks. I call upon the Deputy President to cease fire. And I will also cease fire. Then we can come back and talk. We are Jubilee Party members. I'm not a member, but I'm a great friend of Jubilee Party. Your Excellency, don't go too much. Don't expose your house too much. Just cool down. If there are things that have annoyed, we are elders here. I might not have gray hair. This gray hair I refuse because I'm very good hormones. What are they called, hormones, Miriam? Yes, hormones that don't allow white hair to come. Strong ones. Are they genes or hormones? I don't know. One of them. Hormones they have something to do with reproduction. But genes have something to do with the biology of the body. I think I passed the biology, by the way, by very serious mistake. Hey, I don't know. Where the marker, did people mark me properly? I don't know. So thank you very much, Miriam. That is the beginning of a lovely day. And I want to welcome you, Professor Gerard Onyari, right in the CBD, Nairobi. Thank you very much, my brother, for coming. I'm Dr. David Matanga from the Political Command Center, miles away from Miriam. Take it away, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much, Doc, there for the introduction. Our topics of the day, we shall start with Kenya, Uhuru-Ruto. The center cannot hold anymore, and then we shall go to our next topic, which is why bad elections in Africa can trigger the intervention of the military, as you have seen in the recent past. You know, the one in Mali, the one in Sudan last year, the one in Algeria last year, and a couple of others that have happened in the continent throughout the history of African democracy. But before we get to that, let's first look at the figures as they stand this afternoon. And we start with Kenya, where the cases right now is at 33,794 cases. The death toll is 572. Recoveries is 19,520. And Uganda, the cases is at 2,847. The death toll in Uganda is 29. Recoveries is 1,288. And Zimbabwe cases at 6,406. The death toll is 196. Recoveries is 556. And South Africa, the cases is at 622,551. The death toll is 13,981. Recoveries is 536,694. And Nigeria, the cases stands at 53,727. And out of that, 1,011 have died, and also recoveries right now is at 41,314. And we look at Rwanda, where the cases now stands at 3,843. 16 people have died in Rwanda, and recoveries is at 1,904. And Burundi, 445 cases. One person has died. Recoveries is at 357. And the total cases in Africa this afternoon is 1,236,991. The number of people who so far have died in the continent from COVID-19 is at 29,426, and recoveries is 960. 469,050, and the global cases right now have surpassed 25 million, standing at 25,194,398, and the global deaths 847,241, and the global recoveries right now stands at 17,544,658. So that is where we are at in regards to COVID-19 in a few countries in Africa, and total cases in the continent as well as in the global arena. So, Doctor, let's just get into our topic of the day. President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputies' alliance seems not to be holding from what we've been seeing, especially the recent, tweets and interviews we've seen from the deputy president and the things that he's been saying. A lot has been going on, and clearly Centre is not holding in Jubilee Party. But one thing that is very interesting, yesterday I saw our deputy president William Ruto come out and say, you know what, I'm in Jubilee to stay. Anybody who wants us to go to another party, you can go to ODM. In fact, he said that, he made that reference. If you have a problem staying in Jubilee, then you can leave Jubilee and go to Orange House there. So I don't know who he was alluding to, but that is what he said. So he said he's in Jubilee to stay, which really confused me from what he's been saying in the recent past. I don't know, Professor, maybe before we get to a doctor there. Professor.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. That is a very, very unfortunate remark coming from the deputy president, who is the principal president or the principal assistant to the president. The president is so much committed, Miriam, to build a united country. And he's saying, as you always say, that we are not going to leave someone behind, but there are some people seem to be dragging behind. The president wants to leave a legacy. The president has pronounced himself on what we want to do the constitution after 10 years when we are auditing to find what has happened. It appears that the president and the deputy president are not reading from the same script. And the least the deputy president can do is to support the president, complete his 2 years and leave a legacy. And even if you don't agree with what the president is saying, you don't need to come out and show us how you can oppose him. So Miriam, my recommendation to and advise the deputy president, it is either he shape up or shape out, so that he has humble time to concentrate in his 22 politics, because he has refused to divorce the politics of 2022. And Miriam, some of the people who purport to be supporters, they are misreading him, the likes of Mukomen. You are saying that you will oppose the constitution, the PPR, even when the report has not come out. I commend the deputy president to read the book of Robert Green's, particularly rule number 25. He needs to recreate himself and go to the president and they sit together. I want to see them wearing the same tie and shirts of finishing these 2 years. But if he finds them unattainable, please let him stop dragging ODM. What ODM did was to shake hands with the president, and they identified 9-point agenda on how they can unify the country. So, and on the other day, he was on the show, he said that the Jubilee has been hijacked by the busybodies, fraudster, conmen, name them. So it seems that it's not in Jubilee, he should be preparing and get out. And now I can see what I saw at Jubilee tuko pamoja, then it is a reality. Tuko pamoja, walikuwa anasema is a reality that is no longer with the president. So let him spare us and the rest of Kenyans, because with us, we are determined to see the president finish his 2 years, unite the country, we revisit the constitution, and let the church and him, those who were opposed to the new constitution 2010, bring those things which made you not oppose the constitution, so that we can be able to to deal with them once and for all, so that we can have Kenya moving forward in posterity. Miriam.
All right, very well. Doctor, yesterday, I don't know if you watched, I'm sure you did, that speech by our Deputy President, William Ruto. He said those who even imagine he's going to leave Jubilee, they should leave and stop disrupting how Jubilee functions, and let them go to Chungwa House or ODM and join there and work from there, so that they stop the disruptions they're bringing to Jubilee Party, because he's not intending to leave, and he's intending to sit there and fight for the party that he built and he believes in. This double speaks by, Deputy President, judging from what he said the other time in that interview and what he's been saying. He's happy not to be part of the government. He's an outsider and all that, tweeting, especially in the recent scandals on corruption at KEMSA. But now, all of a sudden, he is inside and he's not planning to leave. So anybody who has a problem with that should leave and go to ODM, from what I got him, from what he was saying yesterday. I'm confused. What exactly is Deputy President saying?
First of all, thank you very much, Miriam. I want to take this opportunity to speak as an elder who is turning 65 years this year. October 22nd, I will turn 65. I want to speak and make my stand very clear, that I'm a friend of these guys, because in 2008, I came in to help. No Kenyan wanted to help them. Kenyans had already given them up, and they wanted them locked up for life. I want to use the same quote that Professor Gerard Onyari has just used. Recreate yourself. Isn't it, Prophet?
Yes.
Recreate yourself. Anybody who has studied political science to a degree of the last iota like me, I'm always proud of myself. Because nobody did it for me. I wrote my exam in that type of atmosphere, and I passed. I never knew the Muzungu who was marking me. I only knew the name, but I didn't know where he lives. Neither did I meet him, but he met my pen and the paper and my writing, and gave me my marks as a refugee. I'm never shy of telling you the truth. I was a refugee, not in Kenya. Most of you think I'm a refugee in Kenya. I'm not.
You are home.
I'm home. I've come back to give to Africa what Her Majesty gave me. Her Majesty gave me education. Her Majesty gave me food. I defended the British Empire because they gave me food. I find you somewhere beating a British, I will beat you even more. Or I will join hands, we beat you. Because they are my brothers. Yes, and the sisters. That's the stand. So anybody who has studied political science to this level cannot tell a lie. There is no problem. There is a problem. But we need to use Robert Greene's law, number 25, to rebuild ourselves. It is not yet too late. The country needs a unit of purpose. Kenya needs a unit of purpose. Uhuru Muigai needs a unit of purpose to deliver. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta needs to deliver a united Kenya with a legacy to continue when he has left the power. He doesn't need a divided Kenya. A divided Kenya in the region is poisonous to this region. A divided Kenya will destroy the progress that East African integration had brought. A divided Kenya will give us a divided Africa. Kenya is a powerhouse of Africa. Therefore, my words are measured this afternoon, Sunday. Very measured. Usually, I come with a lashing tongue. But I've lashed and shown people that you are going a wrong way. Indeed, the statements that were made yesterday in Mombasa are not called, are uncalled for. Uncalled for. Jubilee is a party that can unite, that can come back and help the president to fulfill his mandate. The divisions that we see cannot take you anywhere, but open Pandora box that will lead you to another journey, which is not very good. I therefore suggest that we use Robert Greene Law number 25 and recreate yourself. Accept there is one boss, and that boss is the president. You all campaigned on one platform, Mr. Deputy President. You had the campaign manifesto together. You created this party called Jubilee. Why then destroy it? Why then divide yourselves? President Uhuru Kenyatta has got only 2 years. 2 years left or less. Who knows? Things could change. Who knows? Unless things change differently. Corona is here. We didn't know Corona was coming. And the Corona is now giving us hell, as you will see in the next topic of Africa. Any leader who violated his mouth and did not listen and went ahead to hold Corona elections will not be in power. That's another prediction for you, media. You hold elections now. God gave us break. You know, we have been moving too fast. We are even moving near Mars. We had prepared a rocket that goes to look for where the sun is. Haven't we moved too fast? Why did God hide the sun very far? Why? Why? When you come to the earth, why did God hold the diamonds and the gold? Why are we not finding them on the river? You go in Kisii and find gold and go and sell. Why did God hide them? He had a reason. He has a reason why he was hiding those stars, the Mars, Venus, Mercury. Then you hear some people are collecting helicopters to go to Mercury. That they are rockets. They want to go there. You are creating us maybe even this disease is coming from that air. You have gone to bring a disease that God has controlled. Because we are doing so many things against God. God gave us a break. His Excellency, the Deputy President, is a Christian, Anglican man like me. In the Anglican Church, we have a law that says necessity has no law. Yes. If it's necessary to go back to the king and say, nilikosea hapa, there's no law. that stops you. Go and say, yes, these things, differences were there, but Your Excellency, I want us to see how I can help. This bravado situation, Miriam, will not help. We are looking for a united Kenya, a Kenya united, a Kenya with focus, a Kenya without tribes, a Kenya. And before we leave this topic, Miriam, I told you the other day that the formula will not work. They will come back. Am I a prophet or something? Someone tell me hallelujah. Somebody out there tell me hallelujah. Man.
Hallelujah.
I said it. Didn't I say on the program that this committee will come with nothing? And they have come back with nothing. Because they are reasoning wrongly. Very wrongly. All of them are bad. All of them have not gone to school enough. Honestly, look at all of them. Wetangula has got one category like this. So what can he reason? He can't manage this. Avoid the subject for 3 years. Let the other government fight with it. Strategy. Miriam, is a strategy. What Orengo was bringing was a strategy. Why do you debate something that is going to bring you to chaos? Why do you want to bring a problem with your wife when she's about to keep quiet about your mismanagement of your affairs? Beautiful women like Miriam always forgive. But she doesn't forget. You know, she keeps it in the other ear. She sees it again. Then you are finished. You can look at every I studied morphology. You can know she said, okay, it's all right. You can do things. I keep quiet, it's all right. But the day she comes is a tsunami. That will be the end of your life. In fact, if you are near and she has got a panga in the hand, she will cut you. She doesn't care about the circumstances. Because she has had enough, and when she tells you, go away, go. So, the revenue allocation is like that. It's like a woman who is upset with you, who has been documenting what the husband has been doing. But watching and watching. So what do you do with such a lady? Avoid her. Always come with big flowers, come with new shoes from Dubai, come with these materials. When she's thinking of going to, this time to attack you, she looks at the shoes, she said, but the man still loves me. That's what you should do to the revenue allocation of Kenya. All of us have gone through this turmoil every day. You have lived with your wife for 45 years. Then all of a sudden she said, David Matanga, you are on your own. What do? You recollect yourself. You recreate. I'm going back to what Prof told me today. Recreate yourself. Go back to Mama and say, Mama Miriam, I am sorry. Nisamee. Wacha tuanze upya. Wacha, siwezi kurudia hiyo. And please stick to it. Don't repeat it. And you work very well. In fact, she will even offer you, can I drop you at the station? Leave your car, come in my car. You know, you bring back that life. Some of us were taught conflict resolution management. That's what I do. Miriam, I never quarrel in my house. When my wife starts a quarrel, I look for my car keys. Tutaonana baadaye. And then while I'm there, then I pretend to have gone to one of the shops. Oh, I am down here in Max and Spencer, mama, nimeona kitu hapa. Son, don't call me, but I've seen something. We have been looking for is here. You start a discussion. Unaanza kubembeleza vitu. Pole pole. Then he said, okay, what is the size? Then when she says that, you know now, mambo imeenda mzuri. Things are going very well. You have been accepted. So all this story, I'm telling the Deputy President, Mzee, you are my friend. You are a Jubilee member. Recreate yourself and return. Go to the king, the boss of this party. Make it up with yourselves. You are mature people. Kenyans are fed up of this drama. Don't divide the Kenyans. Now I'm talking on behalf of the masses. People are fed up. People are traumatized with corona. Corona, it's corona. People are traumatized. And you are going on preaching us of division, of going, I'm going out or go out. Who, please, Your Excellency, Deputy President, please recreate yourself under rule number 25 of Robert Greene's, the law of politics. Nobody will say you are ashamed, because even Emperor Nero had to forgive himself, and he fled the Roman Empire and committed suicide. But he had already apologized to the Romans. Hiyo ndio advice yangu. Hii mambo ya kusema the people, the citizens of Kenya are already traumatized. That's point number one. Point number two, on corruption. Don't bring worldwide chess. You see, there is this film, I don't know whether many of you have seen the Wild West. Miriam, have you seen the Wild West? It is what is happening in the Ministry of Health. Those who are calling for Mutahi Kagwe to resign, and they resign, then bring who? Bring who? Bring who is not a sinner? Why can't we wait for Mutahi Kagwe forensic analysis, including cyber security, to be done, where these emails written by Mutahi Kagwe? Of course, the managing director of KEPSA is a thief, already a thief. Let him go. He's reacting. Why didn't he write to us? Did he report to the president that your minister is pressurizing me? Why is he answering leading questions in the Senate? Or these people in the Senate, if you look at the way they were asking the chairman, because he's a Kikuyu, you can see the problem. From Olekina, didn't you see the problem? He's even calling somebody an a parliamentary language. These are not the things that the Kenyans should watch and condemn everybody. Then kill everyone. Who is not a, well, okay, you want to buy, you have COVID-19 in your body, and then you want to buy something in the supermarket. Haven't you committed corruption by going in with COVID-19? Why don't you refuse and tell people I've not been feeling well? I can't go inside to touch the things. Yes, we are not saying there's no corruption. There is corruption, yes. But some of the corruption now is forgery. Imagine somebody goes and forges your account of David Matsanga on Facebook and uses it to write statements when you are not the one. There are cyber thieves here whom the Kenya government, the DCI, must crack and arrest. There are certain people here who should not touch a computer. Yes, in Britain they ban you, and when they see you touching anything which is electronic, you lose your bail. I had a friend in 1998 who was jailed for wire fraud, and they banned him for 10 years never to touch a computer. They took all his fingerprints. Anytime, anywhere he goes and he touches the machine, like this professor, it rings to the police. So the guy for 10 years never touched the computer. He's a Ugandan. He was imprisoned for 2.5 years in the Brixton jail. He wired he wired 400 million pounds. He bought houses. He was very lucky he bought houses to wife, child. When they came to look for the house, they only got one. They took it, but now he still remains in his house. But when he came out, he was told never to touch the computer. And he was monitored by the probation. So why don't we allow the DCI to investigate before we call upon Kagwe to resign? Why do we want to kill Kagwe when he has not even, we have not known what type of investigations are there? Maybe Kagwe did not even write those emails. Maybe. So let's wait. That is all I can say about corruption. And now, about the topic that I've said. I might have not made Professor very happy.
Before we go to the topic, Dr. Masanga, I know the Senate and the Parliament, they have got the role of oversight. But when the case is active, being investigated by the agencies, why don't you allow for the report to come instead of doing a parallel thing? What if the Senate or the oversight says otherwise and the investigation agencies say otherwise? You know, it will be putting a collision. So once the case is very active, it is being investigated by the agencies, charged by law to do it. My recommendation here is, yes, we have got separation of power, but let us give to the professionals to do their work. And after they have given their work, then you can be able to call and ask. But now you can cause all confusion. That's all. That's my observation, and that there's something the Senate or members of Parliament sometimes want to hide. If the case is active with competent authorities charged by law to investigate, please give them a chance to investigate and give us the report. And if we are not happy with the report, then we can be able to challenge.
Very well. And of course, our topic of the day is Uhuru-Ruto. The center cannot hold anymore, and are going by the recent interview and what we've been seeing playing out from President Uhuru Kenyatta's side and his deputy's side obviously they're not speaking from the same script, as it were, in the first term of the Jubilee administration there. And on the last interview our DP had there, he said he insisted actually that he had done everything that his boss, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta, had told him to do, and all the responsibility has been given and all that was required of him. He's been very faithful in performing that. I don't know, what do you make of that? Has he been a good vice for President Uhuru Kenyatta? He said he's done everything that was expected of him so far.
Miriam, you don't thumb chest to appraise yourself. You allow people to appraise you. So what they want us to do, and we have given him a very free advice, unsolicited one. He should go back and see where did the things go wrong. And Miriam, this one reminds me, the children of Israel, as they were going to the promised land, they reached in the desert and the snakes were biting them. And Moses went and consulted and God said, oh, make us a bronze suspect so that whoever is bitten by the small snakes, he look there. Miriam, there were some people who were refusing to look at the snake and they died. Then the deputy president not justify himself and saying that he has done it all right. Miriam, I'm a conflict resolution expert. The word I am sorry is a 5-letter word, but the people insist and kill each other. We are giving a recommendation. You go to your boss. I know President Uhuru is a very fine guy. Have a discussion. You don't say this one and then you go in Mombasa to go and assemble your troops, saying that you are ready to challenge the BBI. Whoever is misadvising, let me tell you Miriam again. When King Solomon died, he left his leadership to one of their sons. And the son said that if my father was whipping you with sticks, I will use a scorpion tail to whip you. He's getting wrong advice. The advice he's getting is not taking the country forward. The things they are doing are not even uniting the country. Even this kind of corruption we are talking about, Kemsa, is causing confusion from his hand. Even we cannot rule out this hacking we are talking about. So Miriam, for heaven's sake, the writing is on the wall. The president and the deputy president, not even a kindergarten could be convinced that these people are together. We are recommending let them come together and unite this country. Mm-hmm. We cannot afford to leave anyone behind if we want Kenya to move forward. But if he's so much committed with these 22 politics, Miriam, you cannot force a small child if you want to shave his hair or her hair. Unless he or she wants, you cannot do it. So if he thinks that 2022 is more important to him, he is right in being in Jubilee. He is being right to undermine the president. The opposition in this point in time, they have agreed to give constructive criticism. And we see now, Miriam, a whole deputy president behaving like an opposition. I wish he had some principles like the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Walk out of government. Mm-hmm. And what you do to others is what will be done for him. God may give him luck that 2022 becomes a president, 2023 is one. What will happen if his deputy will undermine for him, will undermine him the way he's doing? What you plant, Miriam, is what you harvest. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, very well. And on the front pages there of Sunday Standard, they're carrying out the same story in line with what we are talking about here. It says the big power exchange. And here Raila Odinga said, branded the former position by Ruto, he now plays his game from inner sanctrums of power. And DP Ruto increasingly critical of state actions. He has been sidelined from state operators, making him a bystander of sorts. But from the last interview, Ruto said, as much as there are troubles in the Jubilee Party, but he blamed it on the brokers and conmen and all these people who are perhaps confusing President Uhuru Kenyatta, and he was not very particular about whether, of course, he said he's not going to leave Jubilee Party, and maybe if he's pushed too much, then he will cross that river when he gets there. But yesterday, again, he came out and said, no, if you are the one who's having a problem, then leave a Jubilee Party, saying that he's there because he's put so much work and sweat into building Jubilee Party for what it is today. So this rift, in Jubilee Party, and all these things that, our Deputy President has refuted, especially in that interview he had the other day. I mean, is it a creation of the media, or this marriage and this center in Jubilee Party between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, it's not holding anymore? Doc.
Miriam, well, Jinawa Achebe wrote a book. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. But today, we came with that topic. We are not going to allow the center to break. We have agreed with Professor that we use rule number 25 to recreate. Let's give it a few days. The message is hard. Our message is recreate yourself. Appear where possible. Look at Mark chapter 8. Look at Mark chapter 8. It talks of Jesus feeding 5,000 people. How many of them still remember that they were fed? How many people remember that they were fed? How many? This nation of Kenya needs healing. This nation needs everybody to redemption strategy. Deputy President, please reconcile, make a redemption, work together, finish the term. Don't break the state. Please. Some of us are pleading to you because we see your direction is the direction we were in about 34 years ago. We were in government working. We used to make reports to our president that there's something going on wrong, and nobody listened to us. But now, most of us are aging in several places in the world, scattered almost everywhere. Some of us are doing very bad jobs with Makerere University degrees. I'm telling you, your country, if you have a country, if it has bad democracy and it is a civilian country, have it. Don't allow it to go to the route Uganda has gone. Uganda went through a great suffering. We have suffered, and that is why we are still here praying for you Kenyans not to go our route. Our route, we are quick at arresting. Our route, we are quick at picking guns to go to the bush. We are very, very, very difficult people. Mm-hmm. And we killed our nation for many years. So I just ask the deputy to tone down that this nation likes peace. Use rule number 25. Let's see in the coming days, maybe the advice will be taken. And another thing is the people writing the deputy president's Twitter handle. I don't think His Excellency, the deputy president, writes these things.
If it is not him, then he would have come out and clarified that. So
I don't think that is the type of English a head of state should use, a deputy head of state. Why don't you leave your name out? Try to close the Twitter for once and the Facebook. You will be very peaceful. Leave it to generically, get 100,000. Hack so many of them and put on you and impress the world that people are reading my things. I will never do that to my account. Never. My account, if it has 100 people, they are gaining 100 people with criticism. And that's why Facebook has never blocked me. But when you do generic, you just go and shut, buy accounts to inflame a situation. Parody accounts, very bad for a deputy head of state. This Twitter does not vote. The people on the ground vote. The more of these words that come out, the more you are alienating our other places where you could have got your votes in 2022. So just cool it down. This month is ending tomorrow. September is always a very joyful month. Believe me or not, Your Excellency Deputy, if you listen to my advice, you will be very humble. You sit and even sleep better than you are sleeping now.
Okay, let's see, because Sunday Nation...
Miriam, there's a question. You said that the media...
Is it a media creation?
No, Miriam, I heard him very clear. And you also heard him the same. He said Jubilee has been hijacked by peace bodies, by conmanship, those kind of words he used. Miriam, honestly.
Is this word the deputy president used, Makapeli? What is capital? What is Makapeli?
Matapeli is a conman.
Is it Makapeli or Matapeli?
Matapeli is conman.
What does it mean?
Conman.
You educated me. I grew up in Tanzania, but I did not hear this word Matapeli.
Maybe
is it a Kenyan Swahili or what?
It is a Swahili word, and maybe in Tanzania they're no Matapeli, but here apparently we have a lot of conmen.
Let me just build my case.
Yes, go ahead.
When the leadership of the Senate was being removed, the person who chaired the meeting was the president. When they were almost making a decision to remove Aden Duare, the president told them, hold on. When they had initially made a decision, now they are going to remove the chairman, the leader for majority in the parliament, the president chaired the meeting. Miriam, is he not calling the president conman? Is he not calling the president busybody? Is he not using all those kind of things? So what I need to do the way Dr. Masanga is saying, and today I'm giving again ruling number 35 from Robert Greene. Let him master the art of timing. The timing is wrong, the deputy president, to start the kind of things you are doing. Recreate yourself, use the military strategy,
consider the timing.
Know when to take cover and when to strike. Master the art of timing. The president wants to leave the united country, support him to that effect. And the least you can do, keep quiet. You will be safe.
And speaking about timing, Professor, I'd like to know your thoughts on this. That is on the front pages of the Sunday Nation today, and the headlines there say what Uhuru, Raila want you to vote on, and then down there they say, and how Ruto plans to scuttle it. Leading the no camp will be more about testing the DP's presidential campaign machinery than about the law, and he's banking on the support of the church and youth to make that happen. So even as President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila, and especially President Uhuru Kenyatta last week came out and said, and made it very categorical, the need for us to review our constitution 10 years later. And of course, the deputy president, a few days after that, came out and said, maybe not. So obviously, he's not agreeing with President Uhuru Kenyatta's need. He even said there's no need. Kenyans right now are hungry, they need jobs and all that. So there's no need for us to change the constitution. So he will be more than happy to lead the No Brigade. And so as much as you're speaking about reconciliation and him coming back and working with Jubilee Party, well, he said he's not left, but, wanting a united, a government for the sake of service delivery, and perhaps hoping that he will be there until the end of both him and President Uhuru Kenyatta's term. But the change of constitution, as we said here on Friday, is very fundamental. So if they don't even agree and see eye to eye on this very fundamental thing, I mean, this hope of reconciliation is even realistic at this point. Yes.
Before Dr. comes in, Miriam, look at these kind of things, Miriam. Is the principal to the president, the deputy president of this country, is saying that he has got nothing to, he doesn't see anything wrong with the constitution.
No.
He has said that. He's waiting for the changes to be brought. I thank him for being honest. The democratic process and to fight to make Kenya a free state, he has not participated. When we were championing to remove KANU from power and change the constitution, he was in the KANU. He never spoke. And evil, So Miriam, let him be prepared, and democracy says that we will have yes and no, and we will face him. We faced him in 2010. The constitution went through, and in fact, Miriam, do you hear this? This new constitution, we are making a very good seat for him, the leader for the opposition. Thank God that we are thinking to give him a job so that it does not become idle, just the way we are having the current kind of constitution. So Miriam, when it comes to democratic process and making Kenya a free state, making a united Kenya, the likes of the deputy president and Mkomen, let them forget. There's nothing they have done for this country they can be counted on. The people can go to Kimorana and Aro Dam and steal from their own people. What can you do for this country? What can you do for this country? Tell us. Is he not the kind of characters who was telling us the governor for Kiambu is not a thief? What happened? Was he not charged in court? Let him just pay us and let him just take a free advice we're giving him. The timing is wrong. We want to build a united country. Why does he not want a united country where everybody is in government? We cannot use this kind of constitution we have used for 10 years. We have seen two major tribes can come in and take everything, and others are watching. And Dr. Masanga is a true Pan-African. They have gone under chaos. Two people cannot enjoy, and he's talking about the young people. You think the young people in this country are very stupid and dumb? They don't know who has stolen for them. They don't know who is giving them handout and where is the handouts coming from. So Miriam, let him just wait. We come out with the BPI, prepare the referendum question. Let us meet him. And I have no doubt the people of Kenya, we know what we want and we know where we are taking this country. He doesn't know where this country has come from, where it is and where it is going. And if I'm lying and I'm cheating, let him challenge me. Let him challenge me or challenge anybody else.
All right.
And in fact, just trying to equate him with the Raila Odinga, the prime minister. What the prime minister has undergone in this country. That's why I agree with the Mr. Aturi and the Mr. Murati, that we want to give him one Mandela. We must be a country which rewards people for the good they have done for this country. He has been in jail, he has been in exile, he has done all sorts of the things. He has been cheated his victory. And he has said, okay, Kenya is bigger than me. Miriam, do you know which country where a winner becomes a prime minister and someone who has taken his lead becomes the president? He has always stood to be a statesman, and he means well for this country. So sometimes this kind of creation, trying to equate the prime minister and the deputy president, in fact, you are putting to the shoes it does not belong. And that Miriam, remember, Kalonzo Musyoka, I saw him being interviewed the other day, and I said, if I had the president if I had power to give one of the presidents, I would give Kalonzo for his humility. I can give him on that for being humble. Kalonzo was a deputy vice president. Do you see him very bitter? This Musalia, the NC man, he was a vice president. Is he bitter? We have the Angomude Awori, was a vice president in this country. This idea of the deputy prime minister behaving like a child who has been acting like the rust pawn, and seeing another child being born and wants even to starve him. This is that kind of behavior. Kenya is big for all of us, and we can build a united country where everybody sits on the table and serves himself from the serving dish.
All right, so Kenya, it's a buffet you can serve for yourselves. But, Doctor, before we finish with this topic and get into the African topic and look at the elections and how perhaps they trigger the military interventions in the continent, as we've seen in a few examples here in the continent. But as Professor there has rightly mentioned and reminded us, Deputy President, even during the voting of this constitution, this new constitution that was promulgated in 2010, he voted no. He did not support that constitution because he thought there are areas in that constitution that were not well addressed. So perhaps he had an opportunity right now to say, the reason why I voted no the other time is because I was uncomfortable with this and this and that. But the other day he came out and said, Jubilee Party, we were not even given an opportunity to give our opinion in this BBI that might lead to having a referendum to change parts of this constitution. Is it too late? Can we allow our Deputy President to come in and give his opinion on what he wants to be included there in the BBI, and perhaps the sections that he was disgruntled with during the other vote of a referendum that was carried out 10 years ago to change the constitution? Don't think too much.
The constitution of any country is not static.
Correct.
Dynamic. Constitutions are living documents. They change, they grow, they shrink. Shrinkage of constitutionalism in Africa is what has caused the military coups that we see across the bridge in Mali, across the bridge in South Sudan, across the bridge in Khartoum, across the bridge in Mogadishu, Somalia. Shrinkage of constitutionalism. We make very good constitutions, but we eat them like a food. As to whether he should come and tell us or be given time to say what he wants to be inserted in the constitution. He's right. He has a right there. If he didn't, you see, the whole thing is, does he respect the president? The president is also part of the president. I don't know, the deputy president has caused me very sleepless night stomach pains. Does this young man know that the president is his friend? They are together. So when you come out to the public and say, I don't know what they are going, I don't understand. I'm just calling for ceasefire. The man doesn't know where he's going. And it is very dangerous when such a person, you see, what the DP is doing is reminds me what Museveni used to do to us. And I'm sorry, let me remove the glasses so that I bring this point very clear to you. Museveni used to warn us slowly, that, you see, if you rig these elections, I will fight. And we thought it was a joke. I was there in the government in 1980. I was in the political and the diplomatic commission working number 7, employee number 7. We were the people who set up all, after Idi Amin left, Dani Wadada Nabudere, Omonyo Jok, Yesh Tandon, Rugumayo, we are the people. Nasasira, David Matanga. This title came later on. We are the people who set up the political and the diplomatic commission in Kampala. And Museveni kept on warning us when we were organizing the 1980 elections. I swear in the name of God, he kept on telling us that you will see. You will see. And we thought it was a joke. We saw it. He kept on telling us, you will see, you will see. I will go to the bush. I will get my troops. And for you, you see, Uganda has been marginalized. That's the same language His Excellency President Museveni used. I was there, a witness like this. These eyes here and this face. The only thing I've added are the cheeks are big. Everything is big. I used to be very handsome. Very handsome boy. You can imagine me, Miriam. Whenever I could walk in the streets of Kampala with my suit and a tie, every lady fell by. I am now being called hippo, hyena, monkey, baboon, because I defend Uhuru Kenyatta and the legacy. But that's okay. I will never reply in a bad way. So these warning shots that the DP is giving us, there are those who think it is a joke. It's not a joke. The guy is expressing what he can do. In case he's not satisfied with the elections. And that sets us to our next show. Mm-hmm. I brought it very closely to you, Miriam. We have about, we as well postpone that topic until tomorrow. We finish up with this mess of Kenya. Analysts, otherwise, I don't know whether we shall finish it. Some of us would like to run by 4, but if we can do it within a few minutes, let's do it. Let's make points.
Yes, we have about 20 minutes, so we could go through there quickly and look at our next part of the topic, as Doctor has said. And we're looking at why bad elections in Africa can trigger the intervention of the military. And we've seen several times before countries, even Malawi, I think, it was very close to military stepping in over the bad elections that took place last year. They were nullified this year in February, and then elections were done and President Mutharika lost elections. Countless cases we can look through, in the continent. But first, look at what happened in Mali, look at what happened in Sudan last year, look at what happened in Algeria, because of a number of other factors. But usually, the key point that really triggers the intervention by these militaries, one is elections that were conducted badly, that becomes disputed, among other factors of, leaders clinging to power, constitutional coups, and all this. So perhaps, Doctor, start for us, and then Professor will come in, and then perhaps we'll just end the show in a nutshell.
Thank you very much, Miriam. To begin with, it's good that I talked about this topic at the beginning of the show. Kenya should not try any election until they do an electoral revamping system, overhaul the electoral mechanisms of this country. Elections in Africa lead us to wars, to conflict. Elections trigger the army to come knocking on your doors. Elections trigger regime change demonstrations, killings of people, looting of property, destruction of property, rape, murder, usually comes with bad elections. It is very sad that in Africa today, there are countries thinking of holding elections. I am very, very worried man that if it goes by as it is, during this COVID-19, I don't know why an African country will run so fast to have an election. Had Mr. Ibrahim Keita listened to me, he should have not held that election. But before we do that, there's a clip of about a few minutes which I had wanted to play on Mali. But because of time, I don't think we can play it. We can play it tomorrow, or you can play tomorrow during your diaspora dispatches. Miriam, does Africa first of all need elections? No. Professor will say yes. I don't think so. We don't need elections because we don't know what elections are. What are elections? How many leaders in Africa write 2 speeches? How many leaders laugh with their opponents after the results have been announced? How many leaders continue visiting each other's homes after the results have been announced? How many? It is only in South Africa that you see things come to normal. We used to say Tanzania, but Tanzania now, the opposition, they are like a dog and a hyena. One of them would eat the other. In Uganda, it is even worse. I listened to President Museveni's recent remarks on how Bob Wine was beaten. He said he was properly beaten. You know, he was translating in our vernacular. You know, the head of state saying that Bob Wine was beaten, not badly. You know, and that's why this man here, and Your Excellency, you might be watching, or Don Wanyama might be watching, to report it to you. But I want to say, I am not interested in Uganda politics. I am not. I should be counted the least of your troubles. But I'm interested to give you advice as a Ugandan. advocate for sanctions against my country. Because my country needs to survive. I know there are very many poor people in my country. Some don't have a meal in a day. Some don't have money even to treat themselves, even to buy a mask. Therefore, I will not advocate for any punitive sanctions. That's why I persuaded Dr. Besigye not to take part. Not to take part. Because people have been complaining that when he takes part, he loses. Let other people try. You try. And I want to laud Dr. Besigye for doing so. He's a younger man. Dr. Besigye is a younger man, a very younger man to me. He's not my age. He has titles, but he doesn't fit my age. So he crafted these same laws that we are fighting today. He's accredited for that. And that's why you see, when they beat him, they don't beat him hard. They beat him small.
He almost lost his side, Doctor.
No!
When he came to Kenya for
they beat him small. You saw what the president said.
They beat him like a snake.
That wine was beaten in a nice way. So basically,
President Museveni, be serious.
No. Dr. Besigye was part of NRM. He was the political commissioner. He locked most of us in prison. Don't make me cry. We are detained, Obote's people. FOBA, we are detained in mass. Why? Just, Professor, finish it. Thank you. We were detained in mass. In Africa, learn one thing. Now learn how to treat others well. They will treat you well tomorrow. We were detained. Most of my friends are gone. Most of my friends are gone. This regime, our parents are gone. So, you see the pain now? The pain, Besigye, you know why he is suffering? He's suffering to redeem that image. Because what they did was not correct. You see what they did to us? Because you have served the government, you are taken like a criminal, you are taken like a killed, you are put a tire. They put tires around us. They banned most of our people in railway wagons. It is sad. Elections are very bad in Africa. This all came because of elections. So a country that does not listen and wants to hold elections, when you have not cleaned your exercise, your room, your mechanisms, changed your chebukati, you are causing chaos for yourselves. President Uhuru Kenyatta is right to say the Constitution has reached a point where you must review what makes Kenyans kill each other every 5 years. Our people were killed. You don't know. It is not playing here. We lost so many people because of elections. It's because of elections, media. We lost people. My friends have never been seen, some of them. Even us who went to exile, poisoned. So many beautiful ladies followed us to give us poison. That's what an election is. So Kenyans who don't know, they can do it. But for me, the Uganda politics, I don't want to know. And then the president, I will only give advice as an elder now. At my age of 65, I am not seeking any elective post of a nature of an MP because it is too much below me. One of my children will take over. If they are there competing, I am not involved. You know why, Miriam? The worst part is my own constituency, where I'm born, is red. is red. You know why? There's a strategy by Bobby Wine to have me involved in something I don't know. My MP, the only MP who has decided to join officially Bob Wine, because the slot was running mate. I become a running mate. You look at me, at the age of 65, I become a running mate of a man of 36. My son. So I will be the one coaching my son. Now my constituency, my home is, you know, the color was red, UPC. So everybody is happy to wear the color. You can't pass in Matanga's constituency without being a UPC member. That one under the town, city, you can't without this Tanga here. So now this boy has created me chaos. That's why I wash myself. I said, I don't want to know. My mother is calling me to say they brought red things to wear. Is this the former UPC to wear? I am wearing it. Now you can see now the problem. It's a strategy that is election Steve. They cut the place into two parts. All of these are my relatives. So for me, I don't see any reason why somebody thinks an election in COVID-19 can be peaceful. Let's see. But I want to leave with one thing, Miriam. Does Africa need elections? Raila is correct to say the Constitution must talk about electoral reforms. How do you, in the future, elect people who conduct this election? You cannot have Chebukati. In fact, let the parliament resume, cancel Chebukati's contract, pay him, tell him to go, to look after goats in Mount Elgon, or cows, or pigs. Or join a combe. They can have sexual what are they? Escapades around New York. Yeah, that Akombe there, that one. That Akombe from Nyamira, that one there.
All right, Doc, for the interest of time, yeah. For the interest
In the interest
peace.
of peace, let's leave it.
Yes, and Prof, even as we look at why bad elections in Africa can trigger the intervention of the military, also the issue of our leaders clinging to power. Just the other day, the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, resigned 1 year early before his term ends. He's been elected about 6 times before, and of course he's brought in a lot of reforms there in Japan, but due to bad health, I think that's why he has resigned a year earlier. But when you look at back in Africa, a president like that one in Gabon, Ali, Bongo, there's a time he had suffered a stroke. And he was going through treatment for about 3 years. The guy was still clinging to power. And also the president former president of Algeria, Bouteflika, last year, even after suffering a stroke a couple of years earlier, he's not been able to perform his duties as the head of state there in Algeria before the protest happened and he was removed by the army. He was still insisting, even in his wheelchair, to still go on and be elected for another term. That forced the people of Algeria to go out in the streets and say, no, even this time that you've been having, you've not been performing your duties, and a lot of other corruption things that have plagued your government, so we do not want you to come here. You've led us for 20 years, that is enough. So when you look at the leadership in the leading countries out there, the first world countries, and then you look at how our leaders will even cling to power for any means possible, even when they're not able to serve properly. I mean, what is the comparison, and how does this also lead to the need? We see now the military intervening, as in the case of Algeria last year.
Miriam, thank you for that question. Tell me any of the leaders in the world or in Africa who has overstayed how they have left office, how they have left their countries. Tell me any. A good leader. I had an opportunity, Miriam, because of my peace and conflict, to advise, to offer advice to the rating Nkurunziza. You know, he had taken his 2 terms and he started saying, oh, I did not serve, I did not do this one. But eventually when we persuaded, he made that very wonderful statement, and I like using. He said that God has prepared people, as men and women in Burundi, who can take Burundi into another level. So those leaders who overstay in office, still there are men and women in those countries who can take those countries to another level. Miriam, if there's anything to go by, Barack Obama, the former president of the United States of America, he left the office with the highest rating since Abraham Lincoln. But since he had to respect rule of law and good governance, he had to quit. So African leaders should know when to enter office and when to leave office. Those who have stayed, they are. Did you see Keita how he was just jumping the fence? You will be removed that one. And with that, Miriam, in this time of COVID-19, do you really expect that there will be free, fair, credible, and transparent elections? When the movement of the people is curtailed, when people cannot be freely campaign, we raised the same concern about Mali. They went ahead, they will be removed. Because it immediately you win or not win, it will create unnecessary conflict. And Miriam, let me tell you, the role of the military in any given country is to defend their nation. The role of the military is to protect its national interest. Miriam, how do you expect the military to have a blind eye and close their ears not to see when there's corruption in a country, when there's abuse of human rights, when the economy is not working? So Miriam, at the end of the day, these military people, the army, they belong to the country and the reality of the economy. They have got their relatives, they have got their friends and their countrymen whom they see. So if you rig elections and if you don't want to live in office, a time will come and they will complicate issues for you. So what we need to do in a time like this, we have got parliament. Their work is to register. A pandemic has come. No one was prepared for it, Miriam. And I think the best opportunity COVID-19 has given is for leaders to come together and have a sense of reasoning and say, in a time like this, in fact, it's one way the leaders in office, they can use to extend their term in office for 1 or 2 years with the involvement of the opposition. Tell them, look here, guys, here is a pandemic. Nobody was prepared for it. As things are, we cannot have free and credible election. What we need to do, the very opposition will be able to give suggestions on how to give it forward. To conclude and wrap your question, Miriam, don't expect the military to be supporting you. When they find that it's becoming too sad, they will leave you. See what happened in Khartoum. See what had happened in Egypt. So what is this? At the end of the day, they will tell you guys. See even what happened to Bob in Zimbabwe. In fact, Dr. Masanga advised you say very well what you need to go and prepare succession. The wife went and became succession. He started chasing Emerson to exile and trying to do. What eventually happened? The same military who had seen Mugabe as a freedom fighter, they removed him. And remember, by the way, Miriam, Robert Mugabe, Comrade Robert Mugabe, was a popular leader, was a freedom fighter. But when the military see that our country is going to go this way, they have to intervene. So Miriam, the militaries of today are not the militaries of yesterday. If you don't respect human rights, if you don't respect democracy, if there is corruption, if the economy is not working, if the highest level of unemployment in a country, it is a sure bet, Miriam, that they will intervene.
All right, very well. Thank you so much.
Because you have a point there. What surprised me is the military of Khartoum.
Very well. Thank you so much, Professor there. Thank you so much, Doctor, and our viewers for watching. Let's meet
the military of Khartoum, Miriam, just 1 minute, surprised me. The men who took over from Bashir are the same men who were together when Bashir was overthrowing the other government. And in 2017, I went to Khartoum to address All Africa Conference of Chief Justice on International Criminal Court, ICC. I was the keynote speaker plus the gentleman, the lawyer who came, I don't remember him, Dr. Who, my friend, and the Deputy Chief Justice of Kenya, Justice Muiru, Ogwang, Dr. Ogwang, the Dean of Nazareth University, were invited to speak, and Professor Hoide. My paper was how Sudan should avoid to tackle the ICC, not the UN. So I gave my paper. In the middle of giving my paper, I got an outstanding ovation. I have never seen this in my life. The president was up on feet. The whole audience, judges, all of them. You know, when the head of state has stood, I got 5 minutes, Miriam, people clapping. And my words, I had to drink more water because I delivered something which touched President Bashir. I said, there is one rule of law, one law in international relations. Never touch the UN. Don't ever condemn UN. UN can come in as your last resort, defend you.
It's true.
You know, that's why refugees, when they have a UN passport, you cannot get anywhere near them. When they have a UN mandate with that blue passport, boss, the only thing they will tell you, gather them and take him somewhere else. You get my point? UN protects you. So I told Bashir, most of your people have been lying to you, Mr. President. They have been attacking UN instead of attacking Mr. Moreno Ocampo and that woman with body skirt called Fatou Bensouda. Attack that Bensouda. Let's change tactics. When I said that, Bashir was on his feet. Everybody was clapping. Now, this is the same army. The generals were there. I was shocked. These are the same ones who commandeered. When they saw people could not leave the square, what else could they do?
They auction you.
Yes, they come for you. So the thing is this. Election works as a trigger mechanism. Let's correct our elections in Africa if we want to have a stable Africa.
Oh, yes.
And I'm happy that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, and let's join in the deputy president. Let him also come in. But if he's coming in to oppose cheaply or sheepishly, like you are a village, like a village calico, you know village calicos don't care if they are eating food and the food is dropping here. You are touching her the leg. She said, "Why are you touching me in the public?" Have you ever taken a girl from rural area who are now taking a hotel like a Kempinski? You might regret why you even came closer to her. Because when she's touching the forks, she's eating the food. Then you touch her. It's slowly. He said, "Why are you touching me?" That is the work of village calico girls. That's why I advise younger men like those who want anything, go for mature ladies who have mastered good English, who know how to handle their forks. And when she walks in a hotel, you really feel you are a man. But don't go with a woman who will make you feel like you are less a villager from not. You know, the worst villager in this Africa is a pygmy, because he sleeps on a tree. They still think Mabutu is still the president. Did you know we have such places in Africa? Yes. In Congo, we have the pygmies. And the pygmies feel that Mabutu Sese Seko
is still there.
Then there was a Banga Zidit is still the president of Zaire. And they think that Congo is still called Congo Zaire. Because they live on a tree. They move from tree to tree, looking for the tree which has leaves. So for me, I would advise, don't conduct your elections yet. As Kenya,
reforms.
Make reforms. Remember, Kurigira said, if you do that, walai, it will be the one of 2007 was just a drama, but this one will be a big wedding. Don't try elections in 2022 without reforms. That is my conclusion. Concluding word, I'm very sorry, Miriam.
It's okay.
Some of these things are emotional, and it brings back a lot of memories. And I thank you very much for being patient and we finish exactly 11
past
minutes
4.
past 4. Thank you very much, Professor. We meet here tomorrow. It's another week. But my word to Mutahi Kagwe, please don't answer the media now. Get a media guru to answer for you. Those boys will twist you. Remember Oswago. Oswago, the CEO of the Electoral Commission. He was twisted by the media. So, if I were Mutahi Kagwe, don't answer them. Just ask for open audit, security-wise, emails. Who originated this type of emails that are causing you the trouble? Don't listen to the story of Wild West. Those who have watched that film can know that it is happening in Kenya. Mutahi Kagwe was a very humorous man. He said the disease can be ugly if you laugh with it. I think people started on him. They saw him bring the star of President Uhuru Kenyatta back. Someone has shut it down to plot his exit. So Mutahi Kagwe, Matanga still dies with you. Despite all these problems, you're a very good man. You gave me an appointment in 2003, under 2, actually 3, when we wanted to interview President Kenyatta. Thank you.
All right.
You're a good man. No, President Kibaki, not Kenyatta. You're a very good man. Unless something has come, a ghost came in the middle. But you are very good.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.